Boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, new plan for Honkai Star. Now you'll notice, whoa. How come there isn't any other options? I mean, just look here. Option 1 and option 2, and you went way more in depth. Well, it's because there are no other options, okay? I've finally decided. No more videos like this coming, unless they get like some huge nerfs or buffs. Who knows? Maybe if Lingsha gets buffed, I'll end up going for E1 Lingsha. Who knows, right? But this is the new plan. Now, why did I change my mind, right? What made me change my mind? Because keep in mind, I made this when the leaks were still going, so I already knew what Feixiao was capable of. Well, there's one thing I've realized, and that's that Feixiao, a Robin on her team, does more for the team, or even just her, than getting 2 of her Eidolons. So I've now decided, right? No more E2 S1 Feixiao. Now we go for E0 S1 Feixiao. By the way, I'm guaranteed the E0, and I'm at 30 pity. And I'm at 30 pity on the Lycomb banner. So if I get lucky, this shouldn't really cost me that many pulls. And then I'm gonna get a Lingsha for the Firefly team. Now, there have been a lot more leaks recently on Lingsha and the Firefly team. And all you Doom posters were wrong. Sorry for getting a bit aggressive there, but you were all wrong. Now, Lingsha is significantly better than Gallagher. Like, I'm not even talking like, oh, 10 to 20% team damage difference. No, I'm talking about like a 100% damage difference in the team. So, why Lingsha is so broken is that now that we've seen the actual gameplay, her follow-up and her having her skill to be able to AoE on top of her ult also being AoE. So you'll notice, right, there are 3 different attacks she has that are AoE. And on top of that, she has weakness break efficiency built into her kit. And if you're, a dolphin, or maybe you have the saved up pulls, her E1 makes her even more broken. Her E1, correct me if I'm wrong, gives her like a either 25%, I think it's 25% weakness break efficiency increase. Oh wait, no, it's a 50% weakness break efficiency increase, I believe. And then on top of that, any broken enemies, like weakness broken enemies, have 20% of their defense removed. Like literally just straight up, by just having her on the team and having her at E1, everyone who's weakness broken gets their defense reduced by 20% or 20 or whatever it is, right? So that alone is crazy, okay? That alone is crazy. But because of all her AoE attacks that she has, she breaks the toughness bar so much quicker than a Gallagher. And on top of this, she does crazy damage. I'm not even joking. I saw I was watching a showcase where it was E0S1 Firefly with Harmony Trailblazer, with E0S1 Lingsha, and E0S1 Ruan Mei. And guess what? I'm not trolling. At one point, her ult did 300k. At one point, her ult and her follow-up did 300k separately. Now, keep in mind, that's not always going to happen. But keep in mind, this is in the current MOC that doesn't have any break buffs. So that's 300k without break buffs, right? So on this super break team, bam, skill 100k, bam, follow-up 1 to 200k, bam, ultimate 1 to 200k, damn, another follow-up, another 100k. Like, it just stacks, it stacks, it stacks. And another thing people aren't taking into account is because she attacks so often, you no longer have to waste like 1 to 2 Firefly turns trying to break the weakness bar of a boss or mob, because Lingsha, she accelerates your ability to break the weakness bar of a mob tremendously because of how often she attacks. So now also your Firefly is going to be putting in more damage more often because she's no longer going to have to deal with getting through these bosses or mobs' toughness weakness bar for too long. So Lingsha is way more broken than she looked on paper, and like twice as better than Gallagher. I'm just going to be honest. In my opinion, she's probably twice as good than Gallagher. And another thing to keep in mind, her light cone is also broken. I believe it gives, for anyone whose weakness broken, I think it gives like an 18% damage vulnerability on every single person, because I believe it's 10% when their weakness broken and 8% when she uses her ult. So after using her ult, all mobs on field have a 18% damage vulnerability. They take 18% more damage. So you combine this with the attack she's doing, right? She's doing crazy attacks. Like, they're doing quite a lot. She also has really good weakness break efficiency. And she's also giving damage vulnerability. And if you have her E1, even higher efficiency and also defense down. Like, this is one of the most broken sustains in the entire game. Now, keep in mind, she's only really this broken for break, which makes sense why she's this broken. Aventurine overall is probably still the best sustain in the game. However, for break specifically, Lingsha is just stupid broken. Like, I'm not even kidding. On average, she probably does 5 to 600k a cycle. Like, that's a sustain, okay? That's a sustain doing 5 to 600k a cycle. It's disgusting, right? It's absolutely disgusting. So my new plan is go for E0 S1 Feixiao, wait for Robin's rerun, and run her with Sparkle until I'm able to get Bronya, because I've just been unlucky. All I get are Bailus. It is what it is, right? So I'm going for E0 S1 Feixiao, which is saving me 2 limited character pools. So one of those is going towards Lingsha. And you might be wondering, where is the other one going? Where is the extra pulls going? Well, I'm just going to save them. I'm going to be honest. I realized something after watching a lot of videos, that Feixiao probably does better in a hyper carry team than she does in any other team. Like, maybe in her premium follow-up team, she's like close. But that's like 4 limiteds on one team versus having 2 limiteds on one team. Now, I have Sparkle, so that's why I'm using Sparkle. However, you could also probably use someone else. It'd be weaker, right? For sure. But it'd still be very usable. But the premium follow-up team is Aventurine, Topaz, Robin, and Feixiao. Like, that's 4 limiteds. And you either want Topaz's light cone or her E1 to really put in some work. So I can't really like do that. Like, I'm just not gonna hunt literally 3 characters I don't have just for one team comp. I probably will end up getting Aventurine on his rerun, but not for this. Like, I just don't want Topaz. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm fine with this team right here because I already have Sparkle, who I can use to replace Bronya. By the way, I know Sparkle is worse than Bronya because Bronya gives team-wide speed buffs, but I just don't have an option because I don't have Bronya. So this team is a lot easier for me because the only person I have to get after Feixiao is Robin. Like, that's it, right? A lot of people were overestimating the power of... Or a lot of people were overestimating how bad it is that it takes for her to get stacked. Which I agree with, by the way. I agree. She takes way too long to get stacks. If you even just look at a Boot Hill team, Boot Hill is doing 4 to 500k every E, right? And Feixiao is doing 4 to 500k every ult. But the difference is Boot Hill does it every turn. She does it every ult, right? But, to be fair, I've realized now that with this hyper carry team, I've seen this team 0 cycle, right? Well, with 0 cycle with Bronya instead of Sparkle. This team is able to 0 cycle, and something I've realized is it's actually kind of more important to just buff your Feixiao a lot than it is to have all these different follow-up attackers on your team. Like, the difference is so minimal, you're barely gonna notice it, right? Like, it's probably a difference of 0 cycles versus 1 cycle if you have the 5 limited follow-up team versus having this team. Like, that's the difference, right? And even now, it might be pretty uneven, right? It might be 1 cycle versus 1 cycle, because the showcases I have seen for Feixiao in the MOC 2.5, her MOC, where the boss has 2.7 million HP, the only showcase I've seen in that MOC for a 0 cycle was an E2S1 Feixiao with the premium follow-up team. So if she is an E2S1, I feel like if they'll clear at the exact same time as this team. So I really think her E2 just isn't that important, and it's better to just keep buffing her instead. Like, it's just my opinion, right? Just keep buffing her speed, and let her take more turns over and over and over again. And I think that's overall more efficient and a lot less costly than it is to run a premium follow-up team with all these specific limited. It's a waste of your pulls. I'm gonna be honest. If you don't already have all those characters, it's just a waste of your pulls. Acheron is rerunning soon. Acheron can use Aventurine in 2 4-stars. So just go for Acheron and Aventurine instead of getting all these follow-up attackers to maybe clear half a cycle faster. Like, it just isn't worth it, right? So yeah, that's my new plan for 2.5. Get E0 S1 Feixiao, get Lingsha for the Firefly team, because I don't have any limited sustains on my account. The only decent sustain I have is my E2 Gallagher, and he's on my Firefly team. So if I'm going to be using Gallagher on my Feixiao team, I have to get Lingsha for my Firefly team. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hope you have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. Peace.